It's the I Can't Mom Today podcast with Heather, the new mom, and Vera, the seasoned mom. I Can't Mom Today.
Hey, this is Heather and Vera back again with another episode of I Can't Mom Today podcast. Hi, Vera.
Hey, Heather.
How are you?
I'm hanging in there. How are you?
I know, but you were just, listen, Linda.
Nope.
You feel energized, right?
I do. Well, I did for a day after I went on a girls' weekend so that everybody else knows what we're talking about. Went on a girls' weekend, did not want to come home. It was so awesome. Had so much fun. I mean, I just felt like a new person by the time I got back. And then I was like good for about a day. And then I'm like, oh, I want to go back to the beach and hang out with my girlfriends.
Same.
Yeah.
Mine was a family trip, but I just got back from Europe and, I just coming back to work. Not that I hate my job or anything, because that's not the situation. It's just, I need to live the footloose and fancy free life.
Well, yeah. Wouldn't it be nice if we could all just like go rent a super yacht for a month in the summer and
I'm just looking for somebody to sponsor my life.
Right? Oh, if only.
If only.
We need to get somebody to sponsor this podcast before we get someone to sponsor your life, Heather.
Same. Yeah, you're right. How selfish of me.
Right? So, but it's got me thinking about this girls' weekend. Well, part of it was because as moms, you know how hard it is. Like, even if you don't do a whole girls' weekend, you can just do girls' breakfast. Like, I've started doing that with some of my girlfriends, or drinks or dinner, whatever. But sometimes breakfast or lunch is easier. But you feel guilty if whatever you do infringes upon what you feel like you should be doing as a mom. Correct?
Yeah, because you have so little time, truthfully, like in the day, unless you're a stay-at-home mom, which is, you have a lot of time with your family.
Then you just really need to get away from your family because you need a break, man. Yeah.
But as working moms, I'm gone, or I don't see Baker from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And so we have an hour before school, and then we have about 2 hours, two and a half hours after school. So I only see him 3.5 hours a day.
Yeah, that's not very much.
No. And then when you think about taking time out of that, that's...
Yeah.
Well,
A, them bitches better be fun to be around. Hang out with your girlfriends. And then B, you feel guilty. Like, well, one of the women that was on the girls' weekend with me, her husband, like, it was just seemed like he kept, and she only lived about 30 minutes away or so. And her husband kept calling. It was like the air conditioning's broken. So she's like, well, I got to drive him and check the air conditioning because I don't want him to call someone after hours and we'll end up spending too much money. And then I got a speeding ticket. Then it was like, he called her within like not even 24 hours with like 3 different things that went wrong. And she's like, oh, so she felt bad. So she kept driving back and forth between the condo that we're staying at. Yeah, because she had to go.
She couldn't get her drink on.
Right, exactly. I mean, she could a little, but, and like, in the meantime, she kept getting these phone calls. And of course, then she felt badly because she was like, man, I abandoned my family. So she's torn. She's got this whole struggle going on, thinking maybe I should just go home. And we were like, don't go home.
Next time she needs to have it further away.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, that was part of the reason we did it where we did, so that she'd be closer in case she needed to do something for her kids or something like that. So, yeah. Well, yeah. So, but it really did. It started me thinking, like, should I feel guilty that, of course, my son's 16, but how important is it really to get that girls' time? But when you come back from it and you feel so good and so relieved and you're happy to see your family because you're like, yay, I missed you and all that kind of stuff. So I found something validating my feeling that it's important for us as moms and women in general should be spending some time with their girlfriends. And this study from the University of Oxford that women need to take at least 2 nights or 2 days or two episodes a week to spend time with their girlfriends in order to be happy in all aspects of their life. Yeah. And they said at least twice a week, which I thought was more. I would assume maybe once a week, even if it's just something simple.
Or like once a month, I feel like.
Yeah. No, this says twice a week. And it says that supposedly what they've discovered is, well, the things that women like to do or talk about and make each other laugh about is gossiping, drinking beer, talking about their rivals. I'm sure talking about their kids. So the socializing and the laughing together really brings about all those health benefits. And they say with those health benefits, you get faster recovery time from illnesses, stronger immune system, decreased anxiety, and increased generosity levels, which makes women feel better overall.
Interesting. And I think it said something about that men don't need this.
Yeah, not as much.
Stay home.
I agree. Just leave the man home. No, it says, what is it? It says something about how they've actually discovered that
4 is the magic number.
4 women is, no more than that, because then like the joke gets lost. Like, as you can imagine, if y'all go to dinner and you're sitting at this long table, it's kind of hard to hear what the girl 8 people down is saying.
Yeah.
It just gets too overwhelming. Things get watered down.
Totally.
So it says no more than 4 friends. And it does say that more than men, women need to maintain friendship connections. It increases serotonin and oxytocin, which is the bonding hormone.
Yes.
And they say in times of stress, women don't just experience the drive towards fight or flight. They also release oxytocin. And so we need to replenish that oxytocin. Isn't that crazy?
You know what's funny is I just was talking about this the other day with one of my coworkers. She went to France with a group of her friends, and she just had done like a girls' weekend in the mountains as well with a different group of friends. And I'm like, how do you have these friends? I was like, my friends don't do that stuff. I wish they did. I wish we did. I wish I had a group that like I could go away with, but I don't have that.
I literally, with the 2 girlfriends that I have that live here in town from college, we have to schedule breakfast together like a month ahead of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even when you schedule a special event, such as a friend coming in town, everyone winds up making excuses not to go.
Yeah. I wonder who that is. So yeah. I mean, stuff like it's just really hard, but you got to make that effort because there are health. So if your husband or significant other says, I don't understand why you need to do that.
Like you wouldn't, because you don't have ovaries.
That's right. You don't understand. And there are, according to the University of Oxford, there are true health benefits to me meeting up with my girlfriends at least twice a week, which again, I don't know. That just seems like impossible. Especially if you're a mom to small children. Imagine.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way, especially with the way work is now. Like I have an event after hours a lot of times and on weekends or something's happening that I have to stay after work or whatever and trying to work out. Where do people find time to do all this stuff?
I know. Sleeping. There's no sleeping. Who needs to sleep? But I do find that the more I schedule, like make it a point to say, okay, when can you do breakfast or when can you do this? And, and you schedule stuff ahead of time and then you schedule your workouts in and you schedule all those things. If you just say, oh, I'm going to try and do that, it doesn't happen. You got to put it on paper or put it in your calendar because otherwise it's a lot less likely to happen, especially when you're a crazy mom and you've got all kinds of stuff going on.
What should I say?
Crazy busy mom. I should have included another word there. Crazy busy mom.
Did you watch the most recent Teen Mom? OG, I think.
I don't watch OG. I've watched Teen Mom too.
Weirdo.
I need to catch up on OG. I wonder where I could find it to start at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm sure it's on demand or something. I don't know. I can tell you everything.
Demand sucks. Every time I try to go on demand, they have like maybe 3 episodes from the previous season. And I'm like, this doesn't help me.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, Caitlin and Tyler on that show, she just had another baby and she scheduled a massage and she's like, I need this time alone. And her older daughter lost her mind. She was leaving and she's like, I felt bad. I felt terrible leaving her leaving her and leaving Tyler in the situation with a crying, screaming, upset child. But she's like, I need this time. I know. Cause she suffered really bad postpartum after her first one. So checked herself into a facility twice, I think.
Wow.
So, I mean, most people don't have that available to them, but
right, exactly. No, that's what again I've learned too, and this just goes back to taking care of yourself. Having the autoimmune issues that I have, there are things I've got to do. I've got to go do that because if I don't, I'm going to fall apart. And I really think seeing your girlfriends needs to be on that list of got to dos.
Yeah,
I really think that. So if your husband or significant other says, Vera says, well, actually, the University of Oxford says.
Yes. Well, and it's hard too because in our society, being the world traveler I am, just kidding, I've only traveled once, and that was this last week.
Yeah.
It's in other societies, the importance of family and self, happiness is a lot different than our society. Our society is go, 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 go. If you're not working hard, you're not doing it. If you're not working yourself to the bone, you're not working hard enough, essentially.
Basically.
So, yeah. And so like I have an untraditional job, meaning that I work from home and it's very flexible and I can make up a lot of time at night if I need to. But I can't imagine working full time in an office and needing to go to appointments like I have had to go to before,
Yeah.
And especially now, like I'm falling apart. I'm falling apart, girl.
You got your back falling apart. You ain't got no back.
I know my back's all seized up. I got the cough for like months.
God, you still have that cough?
Yes.
Jeez.
I know.
Can the chiropractor help you with that
I
tomorrow?
don't know, maybe. And then I have like this eczema on the back of my neck. I just need to get into the doctor and make the time, but it's finding the time,
Yeah. Eczema is so itchy.
It's yeah. Oh, yeah. It is. Well, it's something new. I don't even know what it may not even be that. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I just know it showed up a couple months ago.
Well, definitely you need to get that looked at because you don't want to worry about skin cancer either.
Wait, what?
Because skin cancer can show up as anything. I knew someone, it showed up like a rash. Yeah. So you might want to go to the dermatologist or your primary. Sorry. I'm not laughing at your situation. I'm laughing because we've so totally gone off.
I'm basically going to have all doctor's appointments this week. Sounds great.
Yeah. Welcome to my world.
Fantastic. No, but but we're fortunate in the fact that we can do that. But there are a lot of people that are not fortunate and wind up suffering. And man, this rabbit hole has really been very down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and then it feels kind of like one thing goes wrong and then a whole bunch of other stuff seems to go wrong too, like with your body.
Yeah.
It's like,
so the moral of the story is take care of yourself.
Exactly.
And
don't be like Heather.
Your friend. Don't be like me. And obviously you too, because you fell apart. So
yeah, I did fall apart.
I mean, age has something to do with it, but there are people out there that's 70 that are like killing it.
But yes, spend time with your girlfriends. That's another one of the things you need to put on your list. And then you're like, another thing. But you'll feel so good, even if you can meet your friends for lunch or something. Just schedule it in.
I know.
Just like you do a dentist appointment.
And so you can have other conversations. Because I've found myself that the only thing I have to talk about is Baker now.
Yeah, that happens. But then if you hang out with other women with kids around Baker's age, then, or even with kids in general, that's the podcast and the Facebook page because
life used to be different.
I know. Well, he's only 18 months. You'll get used to it.
He's almost 2.
Wow.
I know. Just a little over 2 months.
Time flies, man.
I know. So go have a drink, lunch, a conversation with some friends, just hang out on a park bench.
Or you could go for a walk with them maybe, and then you get a workout in and you get that talking time with your girlfriend.
Just remember to knit up those abs because that's really going to give you that back support.
Don't be like Heather.
Don't be like me. So if you have any suggestions on things to do with your girlfriends that may be free or inexpensive, because I know we're always
easy
trying
to do, just
pinch those pennies.
Yeah. Or even like get together and meal prep, that's become all the rage. Ooh. Like Sunday afternoon, that's
not a bad idea.
Have a couple, look at me. I go, like have a mimosa and y'all prep your foods together. Maybe you can trade recipes and then spend a few hours doing that. Then meal prepping isn't nearly as boring. And you get your healthy food all ready for the week and all that stuff. And you get time with your girlfriend.
Yeah, so smart. Look at Vera. Look at you.
I'm a genius.
You are a genius. Did you go to Oxford?
I think I might have in another life. I don't know.
All right. Give us your tips on I Can't Mom Today podcast on Facebook or I Can't Mom Today podcast on
Gmail.
Instagram.
And Gmail.
Yes. I Can't Mom Today podcast at gmail.com. And let us know.
Yeah.
Until next time. You can say bye?
Oh, bye.
Bye.